Hey, what's up? This your boy Big Man. You already know what it is, man. So let's get right to it. Okay, so today we're going to be talking about Young Thug, Gunna, and YSL. And we're going to continue talking about their RICO case because things just got a lot worse for them in court, man. Because somebody who's also listed as a co-defendant on the case, a guy by the name of Jayden Myrick that goes by the nicknames of Set Trip and also the nickname of J-Man, he had his own court case going on. It was a murder case that dates back to 2018 outside of a country club. Now, this dude, during the process of his case, might have blew up the RICO indictment for YSL because he's also listed as a co-defendant on the YSL RICO case as well. He's looking at 5 different counts in there, right? And during the commission of the trial, he went to admitting that he is an active member of a gang, man. This is bad, bad, bad for Young Thug and bad for Gunna, man, because this has put it in a place where they can't go back and kind of say, yo, we're not a gang, or try to say that, yo, we're only talking about YSL as a record label, because dude basically blew up their case. Let's keep it real. Now, what we gonna do is look at this news clip from the court case and what went down and how he admitted to even tampering with witnesses, to threatening witnesses in the case, man. So this situation is going to spill out into the court case with YSL, of course, and we're going to lean on some of the professionals who did some write-ups about what took place in court today. Now, before we do so, do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and man, let's get it. Okay, now let's get to it, man. So there's this guy by the name of Set Trip. That's one of his nicknames. He's listed in the YSL RICO indictment, right? Real name, Jayden Myrick. Now, Jayden Myrick is listed like 5 times in the YSL RICO indictment, and he's also listed as one of the guys who made an attempt on YFN Lucci's life. Yeah, this thing is deeper than rap. So now let's actually look at this situation that he's going through. So he's got a court case that's going on simultaneously with all the RICO indictment stuff with YSL, right? And it looks like, man, he was found guilty in court today, because there were eyewitnesses and people who came out to speak on behalf of the person who lost his life, and it looks like there was enough evidence in this case, they felt, to convict him. Now, this doesn't end there, because he openly admitted to tampering with the case, or trying to tamper with the case. You'll see where this could hurt YSL and Young Thug in the future. And he also admitted that, yo, man, I'm a gang member. So in order to try to save himself in this murder case, he might have just blew up the case for Young Thug and all those cats. So, man, let's actually look at the news story that took place about the court case.
Jayden Myrick made the choice to fire that bullet into Broder as he left a wedding and was waiting on an Uber with friends and family.
Because of his choices, we are here today.
Myrick, then 17, faces more than a dozen charges, including felony murder, aggravated assault, gang activity, and armed robbery.
Can you pick him out?
Here. Broder's brother and a woman with the group that night,
person on the far left,
pointed to a photo of Myrick and said he was the person who robbed them and shot Christian Broder. But Myrick took the stand in his own defense and said he was nowhere near the Capital City Country Club that night.
In the nighttime, I was at Meat House.
But 2 of his co-defendants said they were with him when he shot Broder. Myrick said they were trying to frame him, and his attorney pointed to another person as the shooter.
And they would have you believe that this could not be the man that did it.
Prosecutors said several witnesses identified Myrick as the shooter, and Myrick, an admitted gang member, was recorded ordering hits on some of them for snitching.
So that's 5 different witnesses that you have threatened harm to.
And Myrick admitted he ordered hits on witnesses. His attorney said that he may be a gang member, but that doesn't mean he's guilty of the crimes listed in the indictment.
Okay, now as you heard in that news clip, there was a wedding that took place in the summer of 2018, right? And a guy, the victim in this situation, he was leaving a wedding with some family and friends. He was waiting on an Uber, and some guys approached him and tried to rob him. Now, during the commission of the robbery, somebody shot him, and he was killed. He lost his life. So RIP to him, sad situation, right? Now, they're saying that Set Trip was the guy who was responsible, and a jury found him guilty. Now, in this post right here, this tweet, I should say, from George Cheedy, who is a journalist from Atlanta that covers the YSL RICO case and a lot of things dealing with Atlanta crime and things that are in pop culture, right? So in this tweet, he said this right here. Okay, so you see in this tweet, the journalist George Cheedy here, he said this. He said, Jayden Myrick admitted on the stand to being a YSL gang member and attempting to intimidate and threaten witnesses in this case. Breaking news, man convicted on all counts in country club murder. So he was convicted on all counts in this murder by himself. Now this doesn't even have anything to do with the YSL RICO indictment per se, but the fact that he said on the stand that he's a YSL gang member, that hurts everybody in that indictment, because no longer can they use the defense that, yo, we're a record label, we're not a gang. So, man, let's actually look at another tweet by George Cheedy where he says that. Now, in this follow-up tweet, he says this. He says, here's why this matters. To convict a gang charge, prosecutors have to prove that YSL is a criminal street gang and not just a music label. Because a lot of people were talking about that, especially when you talk about Gunna and Young Thug, because they're musical artists. We know how hard it is to be an artist these days. You got to have social media. You got to be in the studio consistently. You got to be dropping consistently. And it doesn't seem like something that would be easy to manage while also being at the top of a gang, a criminal organization. So everybody thought that they would have that defense for them in the future. Now, he finishes by saying this. He says, Myrick's testimony is evidence that at least one member of the group viewed it as a criminal street gang. So that hurts everybody else on the indictment in the long run. You know what I mean? Now, I'm not trying to say that it's his fault for the whole indictment, but that doesn't help the case. And pretty much it's looking like Gunna, Young Thug, based on that, are going to be cooked, man, because they're no longer going to be able to use that defense. Let's actually look at another tweet where it said, now this part right here is the killer. So he goes on to say this. He says, it eviscerated the, in quotes, we are just musicians and you're prosecuting art argument when the actual defendants have testified otherwise. So saying that this guy is listed as a co-defendant in the YSL RICO case. He himself has testified that, yeah, I'm in YSL a gang. So that lets everybody in the case know and put it on the board for the jury that, yo, YSL isn't just a music label. You even have one of the co-defendants here saying it's a gang. So it's looking like he essentially blew up the case for them, man. Like, really, like, put it out there that, yes, we can't use that defense, that it's just art, because he admitted himself that, yo, this is a gang. So it's going to make a tougher road. Now, does this mean that Young Thug and Gunna are guilty in this case? No. But it does mean that, yo, when it comes to using that as a defense, they're going to have a tougher time. But what do y'all think, man? Do y'all think this guy, Jayden Myrick, a.k.a. Set Trip, just blew up the YSL case? Or do you think that they were cooked anyway, man, and this is just adding fuel to the fire? Now, with that, this has been your boy Big Man. Do me a favor. Make sure you hit that like button, make sure you hit that subscribe button, and make sure you hit that notification bell so that way you get a notification every time I drop this hot content. And we out of here. Peace.